My life, like many of yours, is filled with lots of wonderful things to include working, writing, creating, gardening, exercising, and cooking. Yes, cooking. I'm on a mission to change the way we see, experience, and relate to food. The concept of Sankofa reminds us to go back and fetch what was essential for maintaining a quality and wholesome lifestyle and apply it to modern day practices. So, would you like to join me at the table? Welcome back, family, and yes, I am striking out on yet another road trip, this time with a few of my friends. So, I invite you to enjoy the ride, the fellowship, beautiful North Carolina mountains, the colorful fall leaves, and a few tips and reflections from some of my friends.
Well, first of all, a trip like this, I think it's very, very important that you pay attention to who you want to invite on this trip. There's a movie, Sideways, and I think in that movie, it was kind of like a road trip, and it was dealing with wine and stuff like that. But just to have people in your company that you really enjoy being around. In our case, we had there were a total of 5 of us, and we played games. We talked about current events. And as we got further and further on our trip and started going up the elevations, there were times when we had to stop, get out, take pictures, have more discussion about what we just saw. And things like this help to create history, memorable moments. So it was just an awesome event to do something like this with people that you have lifelong friends. I think another thing that was exciting was the anticipation of whatever may happen, kind of like life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So we were on this road trip. We stumbled upon a hiking trail, and it would have been awesome to kind of venture down that trail just to see where it would lead. You just never know. And I would just encourage people, whenever you're going to do a road trip like this, bring extra shoes. In this time of the year, that's the other thing. With the leaves changing, this is in September, October, and as you increase in your elevation, the temperatures can get a little bit colder, and you'll notice it. So bring sweaters, coats, gloves, extra socks if you need to, because if you decide to change shoes and go down a hiking trail, then you can make sure that you're comfortable. So clothing, being prepared, and anticipating the changes in the weather as the elevation increases as you ascend the mountain.
Although our destination is Mount Mitchell, North Carolina, and perhaps maybe even parts of the Blue Ridge Parkway, there's so much to see along the way. So many beautiful mountains, different little overlooks and stuff. So it makes for a really interesting trip. And as you can see, the conversation here is just as exciting as what we see on the outside with the mountains, the elevations, the leaves, and everything along the way. Welcome back to my Sankofa table. This is Tia. I'm coming to you live. Well, not really live, but I am almost on the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm up here in Asheville, North Carolina, with some friends, hanging out, watching the leaves change colors for the fall season. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're getting some fresh air. We're out here in nature and checking out the mountains and the leaves. So if that's something you're interested in, then hey, stay tuned, stick around, and we'll be back to show you more of Asheville, the mountains, and the beautiful leaves. Stay tuned. This is Tia Capers of My Sankofa Table coming to you live from Issaquah Falls in Walhalla, South Carolina, and I'm not alone. I am here with
Chocolate Drop, host of the Chocolate Box Presents, and we want to let you know that our programs air on Spectrum Cable Channel 21 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99. Mine comes on every Tuesday at 12 noon, and then again at 9 p.m. Twice. It's a program so nice, we had to air twice.
Okay.
And what about yours?
My program airs every second and fourth Saturday of the month at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we look forward to seeing you at the table or
It's the Queen of Falls.
the chocolate box.
That's right. The chocolate box.
We'll see you there. Bye.
I got y'all in there.
You're in there?
Yeah, we in there. We're recording video though. It's not a picture though.
Oh.
Anything y'all want to say?
I'm making sure I'm in there.
I gotta get this way. I'm trying to get that in the background too. Where you going, LaDonna? You don't want to be in the shot?
No, I was teasing you running.
LaDonna over there. I got you.
So that convention of soul that we were talking about, the one that goes on to the next journey post Earth. This is it.
And after all that posing, we finally got the perfect group shot.
We're where?
Big Laurel Gap Overlook.
Okay. And we're doing what? Taking a pause for the cause.
For the changing of the leaves, the exuberant colors, God's palette.
All of that. Right now we're hooking up our palettes with this Sankofa soup prepared by Willie and I last night. Are you praying to the bowl, Willie?
We're praying to
Let's one time for the bowl. The empty
One
bowl.
time
The
for the
empty bowl. I've never tried the salad. It's the first time making it, so I hope that the salad, hope it's good.
So your preference is to try it on an empty stomach? Or?
Not necessarily. I've eaten cereal not long ago, and now I'm eating this, so I don't want to overdo it, and I probably won't get the same enjoyment, out of just stuffing it in. But you guys are free to taste it if you want, or we can do that on the next break.
Absolutely. This was more than satisfying.
Well, the Sankofa soup that Willie and I prepared was a hit amongst all of our friends, and we're looking forward to trying this delicious fruit salad made by our dear friend Susan. So we'll do that on the next break, so stay tuned. And oh yes, with this beautiful backdrop, of course we had to take some pictures. And now our bellies are full. We're back on the road, looking for our next overlook to stop to get out, stretch a little, take pictures, take note of the beautiful mountains and valleys, trees, nature, and anything else that we find interesting. It's a good thing that LaDonna had the travel agency to prepare triptychs for us, so this way we knew just where to kind of take a pause and visit some of the overlooks and get some really good views. It took a lot of the guesswork out, and we were able to just follow along the already mapped out and pre-planned free guide. Traveling from the Charlotte, North Carolina area to some of the mountainous regions, it's only about a 2.5 hour drive. So although it's not that long of a drive, we are so thankful for our friend TX who volunteered to be our designated driver. So the rest of us just were able to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride and the views. Next stop is Green Knob Overlook. So as you can see, the elevation is way up, 4,760 feet up. Along with all the other interesting sights and views, the trees were just like really interesting. Along the way, we did learn some history about some of them and why some of them look the way they look. Lucky for us, the weather all day was just beautiful. No rain, just a lot of sunshine, a little cool breeze, but nothing too unbearable. So it was really nice being out, taking in all of the fresh air. And here we are at Curtis Valley Overlook. So yes, we had to take more pictures, hang out a little bit, stretch our legs, and just breathe. Of course, on this little day trip, we are definitely getting in our health and wellness. Next stop is our main attraction, which is Mount Mitchell State Park. Looking forward to making it to the top of these stairs for a potty break. I'm checking out the porta potties over here. I was hoping for a bathroom, an actual bathroom, but let's see. Dang, just my luck, no bathroom. If you're able to take the short or relatively short hike up to the top of Mount Mitchell, there's some beautiful, beautiful areas up there where you can get like just wonderful views and take it all in. Mount Mitchell was known by the Cherokee as Atacala and formerly called Black Dome. It was renamed for a University of North Carolina professor, Elisha Mitchell, who in 1835 surveyed it as the highest point in the eastern United States. In 1857, Mitchell fell to his death on the mountain and was buried at its top. It's unfortunate that he died while trying to measure the mountain.
Yeah, and it was in the middle of the week. Ma Bell will come back and tell us all about it.
Hi, I'd like to share some tips on how to see the changing of the leaves. My first tip was that I contacted AAA and I asked them where was the best spot to see the changing of the leaves. They mentioned the Blue Ridge Parkway and take a route all the way to Mount Mitchell. And through that, they developed a trip for me. We took the route and we had several scenic points to stop at. We had a bridge and different overlooks with the elevation. Another tip is to make sure that you have a designated driver for your trip, because as you make those turns, they will know the proper gears to shift into. And as you go up on the elevation, your ears start to pop, and it's just having a designated driver helps the trip along. Another tip about visiting Mount Mitchell is a surprise is that they have a museum up there, and it talks about Mount Mitchell, who it was named after. And actually, a very interesting fact is it was named after a person that was doing some exploring on the mountain, and they died trying to do the exploration. So that's another treat that you can for Mount Mitchell. And a lot of bikers take their bike and ride up the mountain and lift it up once they reach it. And it was just a great trip. The changing of the leaves, the colors, as I call it, God's palette for fall colors. Thank you.
And yes, finally, a real bathroom. Yes, a real potty break.
In 2.4 miles, turn right onto Blue Ridge Parkway.
Who's gonna answer the question?
So,
They got a question for you, Tim.
what does MST stand for?
Mountain
My
still,
Sankofa table.
oh, mountain still troublesome.
So much for that one.
I don't know. You said say strenuous.
We was trying to get you a little plug for my Sankofa table.
I didn't make that connection.
No problem.
I must say that visiting Mount Mitchell State Park was well worth the trip. It was great, and because it's getting late and it's time to get back on the road, we will definitely try to find a little picnic area where we can reflect and eat our delicious food. Well, not too far from Mount Mitchell State Park, just a little bit down the road, we did find the perfect picnic area. Only one thing though, there was a bunch of yellow jackets lurking around, so we had to be careful to dodge those. But other than that, it was the perfect spot. Nice time to spread out our delicious food and just take it all in before we got back on the road, headed back to Charlotte. And as y'all know, I had to snap a few photos for the gram, of course. And also Facebook for the My Sankofa Table food group. So if you're not on that, come on over and join us.
You still has to be the hunter.
Right there.
Oh, what are these for? Oh, you want to talk to us? What is it? Talk to me.
Rest it on top. Just rest it on top. So I have quinoa, roasted butternut squash, kale, blackberries, onions,
Somebody give me
peppers,
who wants some? Let's
hemp
I want
seeds, and roasted pears.
So bring your plate on over.
That's why I was late coming to you yesterday. I did it. I didn't realize. Wait a minute. Make sure you mix that butternut squash around because I had all the quinoa and the butternut squash in the center. That's fine. Here, just make a good mix. Don't waste it up. Get OZ and
Is it too much or it's not?
waste it
I'm
out.
gonna get that.
Yes, ma'am.
More? You got like
Just a tiny bit more.
Anybody else? While we got
Can you throw one scoop? Thank you. Perfect.
But explain to me how what was I supposed to do you connect that up to a mini generator Is that how y'all were gonna heat it?
No, he has a bizarre reverse what is it? Converter, such that you plug 12 volts direct current into the car, and you get out 120 volts AC.
Okay. So you were gonna plug it into the car, but y'all couldn't decide whether to plug it into the car. I was just curious why y'all didn't.
The first time we checked it, it was still hot. So it was like, oh, okay. Because he heated it before he left, which was smart.
Our hotel had a kitchen in there. That's what it was. We had a kitchen. We've been there for a few days. Eating everything. We had the mini refrigerator. Going home. Rough.
It's gonna be
All
rough.
the soup gone.
Everything. Gone.
Everything gone. Like I'm at the mercy of the streets. Oh.
It's beautiful hanging out with friends who also have a common interest in all things health and wellness, because sometimes you just so happen to get a nugget or two of valuable information that you can use for your own self.
I'm like, whoa. I mean, you can feel it opening up around areas like, they stop draining. So,
Which brand do you?
oh, I grate my ginger. I don't buy.
Oh, you
ginger.
guys
And I
grate,
do it
okay.
myself. Yeah, I don't buy the.
Okay.
I get the 4-pack of the cubes. They're handy. They're small cans. If you're traveling, put them in the bag. Or, when you're traveling, you're moving around. Gas. Not eating upset. I didn't have any more food cooked, so we had to stop. So we stopped at a Caribbean restaurant. And I got collard greens, but didn't have any. And I got plantains.
Love and light. I just want to say real quick, this is Susan. I just want to say real quick that I had the most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time with my friends, Tia, TX, Willie, and LaDonna on a road trip to Asheville, North Carolina. It was absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Great food, great energy, great scenery. It was breathtaking, and I am just honored to just be in the presence of such wonderful, 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 wonderful family. And I truly, truly, truly look forward for our next road trip. Here I come. We gotta keep on shining, shining like the sun. Life itself. Much love.
Being with friends and taking a trip with friends was the best part of the trip for me, one of the better parts of the trip. We had wonderful philosophical conversations. We talked about spirituality. We talked about God. We, nobody dominated. And I think Tia was asleep at one time, and she woke up and was eagerly engaging because it was so fun. And so that ran on, and that was a cool part of the trip. Yeah, so a big part of the most enjoyable part of the trip for me was the science. And we're going to see mountains, and so there are two ways that mountains are built. One is through volcanic activity, like the mountains that are built in Hawaii. And the second way a mountain is built is that these plate tectonics or floating in molten lava. And so when the continental shelves bump into each other, they crash and forge the mountain up. And that was the case in this situation. So a mile is 5,280 feet. At one point, we were 6,500 feet in the air, so we were over a mile high. And of course, the vistas that you can see looking over into the valleys and the gorgeous colors and so forth, it's so beautiful it didn't even look like we were on the same planet. That was a real high point of the trip for me, just natural beauty. Another part of the third part of the fun part of the trip for me was the food. Of course, Tia came over and we did a show taping her famous Sankofa soup. And of course, nobody does it like Tia, so we had it warmed up on a hot plate and we served it up. And there were just, I think there were salads and snacks and so forth. And food, friends, fun, natural history, and nature just combined to make a fantastically beautiful experience, and one that I will not soon forget. I'll remember this trip for years hence. It was so fun. But the food, the smells, and that sort of thing was a nice bonus, shall we say. The whole part of it, the food, the natural history, and the conversations is what made it memorable. Those were all parts of the experience. And of course, our good buddy TX took the burden of driving off our hands. And so we were free to just sit back and chill and relax. And it made for a very memorable occasion.
Well, family, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking the road trip with me and my friends as we came up to the mountains in the Asheville area. This concludes this episode of My Sankofa Table. We're here at Mount Mitchell State Park, still checking out some of the scenery, some of the mountains, some of the leaves, the beautiful leaves in this autumn season. So we will see you at the table. Bye.